Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Jhin supplementary guide, and today we're going to be talking about the energized build for Jhin. Now of course, just a couple of days ago we did cover what I consider to be the best build on Jhin, which is the collector first item build, but today we're going to be talking about the energized item build, which is also of course really good. So let's get straight into it. So first up, first item, Gluttonous Greaves, pretty standard, AD and Omnivamp of course. Then we get into the first quote-unquote real item if you don't count boots. So Stormrazor. Stormrazor gives you a decent amount of AD, pretty much the same as the Collector. Crit, attack speed. Now the thing about it is of course it's going to give you more AD than Collector, because with the Jhin attack speed conversion it is going to of course convert the attack speed there into attack damage, and of course you also get that extra passive where you deal a little bit of magic damage as a burst and you slow them down. And of course this is going to combo with Magnetic Blaster, which again is going to convert the attack speed into AD, and is going to give you that bonus range and the static shift passive, which again also gives you that magic damage passive. And of course it does combine together with the Stormrazor, so it does apply the Stormrazor on the Magnetic Blaster passive as well. So overall, a huge burst of damage to multiple people in one shot. And then of course we have IE, gives you of course a large amount of AD as well as increased crit rate. And of course final crit item, the Mole Reminder, for the armor penetration as well as the Grievous Wounds. And for your last item, it is pretty variable. It's always going to be a defensive option, so Maw is generally the most common option nowadays. Of course, you also have items like GA or like Sterix, that's also really good. Of course, Sterix is really strong on Jhin, increasing our base AD by a ton. And for the runes, we of course have the Fleet Footwork for the healing and the movement speed. Here we go for Gathering Storm, because as I mentioned in the updated complete guide, which is that you don't get a lot of value from Brutal and Triumph, so this is pretty much your best option. And of course we normally go for Brutal. Here I'm not Brutal. We normally go for Giant Slayer here because it gives you the most value, and I like to go for Bloodline here for the healing. But you can also go for Alacrity for the attack speed, which is going to convert into AD, which is pretty much the more popular option. Like all the top Jhins are generally going for Alacrity, 2 of them out of the 3, so it's kind of a little bit of your preference. So now, here, the minor rune and the spells is gonna work in a combination. So if you take Exhaust as your spell, Flash and Exhaust, which I did in this gameplay, then you want to go for Nimbus Cloak to get the additional movement speed when you cast your summoner spells. But if you go for Ghost, which I think is the general better option, then you want to go for Bone Plating, because you don't need that movement speed and you get the extra defensive capabilities from the Bone Plating. So with all that said, let's move on to talking about the gameplay. Okay, so now into the gameplay. Now, the first real big question we have to answer is, why is this build not as good as the collector build? Well, honestly, I think that both builds are really good. I think that if people want to use this build as their main build, I think that's completely fine as well. But I think that there's only just a couple of small differences between the collector build as well as this build. Now, first off, of course, the collector build generally involves you going for lethality boots into collector, so you have 20 lethality at the start, and then you go into IE. So the early lethality plus the fact that you get an early IE, because remember that Jhin is always going to crit on his 4th shot, both on his ultimate as well as his auto attacks, means that getting an early IE is actually going to boost your damage by a lot. And also of course you get 60 AD from IE, which is a lot more compared to what you can get from the Stormrazor Magnetic Blaster combo, because Magnetic Blaster gives you attack speed which converts to attack damage, but remember that at the end of the day the conversion is a percentage of the attack damage, attack speed getting converted into attack damage. So basically you, getting pure AD from an item is always going to give you more AD than getting attack speed from an item. That's kind of just how the conversion works. So even though Stormrazor as an item itself gives you more AD than Collector, it doesn't give you the lethality, and also comparing Magnetic Blaster to IE just does more damage. So overall, basically what I'm saying is that the Collector IE builds does more damage in the early game, and as such is easier to snowball, and as such I think is better, basically. Of course, the Stormrazor build has a lot of perks as well, a lot of utility. You get that long range slow with the Stormrazor Magnetic Blaster combo on multiple people, and helps you to, of course, kite around them more easily, chase them down if you need to. So it does have a lot of strengths as well, as we will of course see in this gameplay. But it also has a lot of cons. So here we actually get a little bit baited. Soraka steps up like a fool, but turns out we are the fool because Viego comes in, kills us instead, and picks up our body. Roots Leona with our body, ults in for the kill onto the Leona. Pretty well played by the Viego there, using the Jhin W to get the root off on Leona. And now we're back on the map. So in this match, I chose to take Exhaust instead of taking Ghost because the enemy team is not very easy to kite. So generally taking Ghost is only really good. It's good in almost all situations because generally most teams have a lot of people who are kiteable. But in this case, an enemy team, you can't really kite any of them, right? Because Ashe has a slow, it's really hard to kite away from her. Viego and Yone can reach you pretty easily, so it's quite hard to kite away from them, especially Yone. And Jinx, of course, has her passive for the movement speed, so again, very hard to kite away from her. So there's no real reason to take Ghost. Exhaust is just a lot better because you can exhaust Yone when he goes in on you, you can exhaust Viego when he goes in on you. And of course, in lane, you can also exhaust Jinx, which will probably win you the fight because Jinx has Ghost instead of exhaust here. Leona here flashing in onto the enemy bot lane. I'm trying to focus down the Soraka, who gets out of my range, so I focus the Jinx a little bit, but the healing from Soraka is just a little bit too much. We don't have anti-healing yet. So Soraka is going to do a ton of damage. So now, since we pushed in, we're trying to get a couple of free hits onto the tower, which we actually do. And yeah, so here, again, not too much we can really do at laning phase because Soraka heals a lot. So unless they get caught out of position, pretty far from the tower, we're not really going to be able to kill them because Soraka is going to heal Jinx back up. Now, Soraka now caught alone, we engage in on her, and of course she can't really heal herself very effectively, so we are able to get off the dive and kill the Soraka, who basically made a mistake by not backing the Jinx or not just, keeping out of danger. Does get caught, and now Jinx is left alone because Soraka is not there, which of course means that now Jinx is in trouble as well. We're putting the shots into her with the ulti. We missed the last two, but Leona goes in for the engage, and unfortunately Jinx gets the reset, and I try my best to kill her and flash out. However, the tower shot already locks on, and I do end up dying right there, which is a little bit unfortunate. Not as clean a dive as we would have liked, but we did end up basically in the grand scheme of things, we kind of actually traded 2 for 2 because we killed Soraka first and then we killed Jinx and they killed the both of us. So in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of a 2 for 2 trade. So not really the worst situation in the world. So hitting back to the lane, Soraka getting caught out once again. You can see the toxicity of the Jhin Leona combo. Soraka was stuck on 1 HP. Now we're focusing Jinx, but Jinx is getting healed up by Soraka, unfortunately. So this is not gonna work out. So you can see we end up dying here because we have to kill the Soraka first. If we don't kill Soraka, Soraka can heal Jinx, and we can't outdamage. We cannot damage the Jinx. Now Leona does have Bramble Vest, but you see that one of the weaknesses of Bramble Vest is you have to be attacked to apply that anti-heal, so I probably should be going for Executioner's Calling here, but I end up not actually going for it all the way until it's time for more Reminder. But yeah, one of the weaknesses of Bramble Vest is just the fact that Jinx has to actually attack Leona to actually trigger it, and I believe Jinx was attacking me the entire time there, so the Bramble Vest pretty much was doing nothing. Which is pretty unfortunate. So yeah, we can't outdamage the Soraka healing, and we do end up going down again. So you can see it's not really the best start to the game. We're 2-3-1. In terms of goal, we're just pretty much on par with everybody else on our team, and we're behind some of the people on the enemy team, like the Jinx, like the Yone, things like that. So yeah, Jhin is a very strong early game champion. He's also pretty strong in the mid game. Of course, in the very late game, he does start to fall off. Now here again, Leona engages on Soraka, but we can't really reach her. And yeah, we're just trying to really do something. We finally get the kill onto Jinx because the anti-heal is applied. Soraka now trying to run for the hills. We get the root on her. Going in there, we get the kill. And Leona tanks one last tower shot and survives because of the W tankiness. And yeah, so you see we can actually win the fights if we play them out properly and if the anti-heal is applied. But if the anti-heal is not applied, we pretty much don't win because Soraka heals for way too much. Here we proc the mimics onto the tower, and we are also able to get the enemy tower, which is huge. Now Yone is chasing in onto the Vi. We're trying to help her out. So he uses his E over the wall. So I'm going to wait at his E here like this, and we basically Q auto him for the kill. Of course, one of the weaknesses of Yone is the fact that he always has to go back to his E, so you can use that to your advantage. Instead of chasing the actual Yone, you can just wait at his body for him to come back, and you're pretty much gonna be able to catch him out if he's low. Of course, you do want to be very careful when doing that, because if he's not low, he's going to be catching you out instead if you're the ADC. So you only want to do that when you can actually kill him without him killing you. So here, off of all of those kills and the tower, we're able to get the Storm Razor completed, as well as halfway towards the Magnetic Blaster. So Asol coming in for a gank, pretty much hits Soraka with everything. I get the root in for the assist, and now Jinx has to run away because she doesn't have a Soraka with her anymore to help her. And yeah, so with that, we're going to rotate to the mid lane where it's clear that a fight is breaking out. Yone is engaging in, Leona stuns him up, I root him up, and he, yeah, basically just dies, has nowhere to run. And Viego, you can see, has popped the miss, so he is somewhere around here, but his tower is pretty much 1 HP. The mimics are able to pick up the tower. And we have another set of mimics, here we go, mimics go in onto the tier 2 as well. And here we're just blasting the tier 2, Leona engages, I'm popping my ulti, missing the target completely, but finally the 4th shot hits and I'm able to get the kill. I had a complete brain lag there. I was just launching 4th shots into Narnia, nowhere even close to my target. Now here Viego goes in 1v4 for some reason. He dies, Yone goes in as well. I'm gonna have to flash away because Yone is actually doing a bunch of damage to me. And I would die if I stayed there any longer. I'm gonna have to grab the fruit here. And Yone, of course, does die to my team eventually, but he nearly killed me and Asol in danger as well at that instance. So here we're going to pick up the Magnetic Blaster, which of course is going to give us the 2-item energized item combo. And while on the way out to the map, of course, we're just going to pick up some farm in the jungle. We have a Skull Crab here as well. And here I'm letting Leona have the Skull Crab because at this point in time, we are having that Project A event where you need to kill the Skull Crab to complete the mission. And yeah, so Leona just grabs the Skull Crab just for the mission. But in a normal match, this wouldn't be the case. Of course, the ADC will be the one taking the Skull Crab. But anyways, clearly a fight happening in mid, so we're going to rotate there and see what we can do. Viego taking over the Echo's body. And now going for the Asol, we get the root on him, Vi chain CCs him, and he's not able to get the possession of the Asol, but could have gone to reset city there if we us and the Vi did not chain CC him. Now Leona goes all the way in onto the Jinx. I'm trying my best to help her out, but now Ashe is kind of free firing on her, and Jinx lands the ultis. Unfortunately, they're both pretty low, and I can't really tell where the Ashe is. So I'm just kind of taking pot shots at that general direction, but Ashe ends up escaping one way or the other, and now I'm getting chased down by Yone. I try to slow him down, but he gets me with the tip of his ult. I don't have any flash, any mobility. I try to fight him 1v1, but of course we know that that isn't really going to work out, so we do end up dying to the Yone, unfortunately. Look at this, Asol farming, pretty satisfying to watch. But yeah, so now we're almost at IE. Of course, IE is going to be a pretty big power spike for Jhin. Of course, it's not a very good item for most ADCs, but on Jhin it is an insane item, of course, because you can, of course, crit on all of your 4th shots, and getting the extra crit damage on the IE is pretty nice. And you can see after those bunch of kills and stuff, we are now super duper far ahead. If you look at our goal, we're at 10k gold, which is pretty much 1k gold higher than anybody else, except for Viego, who is very, very close behind. Viego is, of course, really, really fed. So here we're now on the mid wave. Of course, as the ADC, you generally want to stay mid so you can rotate easily to any fight that occurs. But the issue is that a lot of times the mid laner, you know, doesn't want to give up their lane. So here Soraka gets caught out. So we're gonna focus down Soraka first, kill her. We already know that's the trick. We have to flash out. We're gonna pop the fruit, grab that real quick, and Ashe is flashing in for the kill onto the Asol. Me and Vi are chasing after her. Vi manages to get the engage on her. I land a shot to help Vi finish her off. So at this point, everybody is dead except for the Viego. So we're gonna get something. We're gonna get stuff done. Viego here We know he's somewhere around here, so here exhaust coming in. Clutch, we get the 4-shot on, and we're gonna kite him away. Now me and Leona both cast our ultis thinking that he was about to escape, but he actually just dies to the ignite. So 2 ultis wasted there on the escaping Viego. But as Viego dies, his team is now beginning to respawn. So no real opportunity to really do Baron here. Now this place clearly was warded because Yone just jumped over and just killed me, which basically means that there's a ward at that area. So we're gonna grab a QSS here on our back as well as the IE. Of course, QSS is very important because there is an Ashe that can just arrow you. There's a Viego that can stun you, and Yone can of course knock you out, which you can of course QSS if you use it before the actual knockup, which is not that hard because you can see the Yone ulti indicator before it actually hits. So here Vi is kind of getting caught out at the top side. She's way too overextended now, just getting run down. Gets ulted down by Viego and does end up going down. I'm not sure why she was so far up when she basically saw multiple of her teammates dying already. And it was inevitable that an enemy team would end up coming for her. So we're headed back to the mid lane just to continue farming up and to just stay there and see if any rotations are needed. In between the mid wave coming, we're just kind of farming the raptors a little bit just to maximize the amount of farm we get, and then now we can focus on the wave. You can see at this point we're already critting for like almost 1000 HP. So yeah, Jhin damage is now no longer an issue. He does a lot of damage. So here I'm helping my Vi out with the jungle camp, and yeah, I'm just grabbing the Rit buff here. And here we're trying to catch Viego out. We actually get the catch on him. He goes unstoppable, but I'm able to land the root from like max range. So he ends up getting caught out. And here I'm going to finish off the kill onto him. And now, of course, Soraka's still alive. The Ashe arrow gets blocked by the Aurelion Soul Crown. We're going to kill the Soraka, who's of course the main issue. And now Jinx is chasing in for some reason, so we're going to kill her. Now I'm trying to kill the Ashe, but she's doing a lot of damage. I'm able to escape with the help of my 4th shot, and Aesol finishes off the kill. Yone is the last guy standing. I'm trying to land some shots in on him, but it's not quite working out. He's dodging them all. And yeah, so here I'm going to have to run away. I'm going to grab the fruit on my way out. And I don't believe Yone is going to chase me here, so I should be fine. I am going to just take another fruit here before I back. So here I'm actually not going to back because the dragon is actually up and pretty much most of the enemy team are dead. Vi is on the way here already. Viego will take a little bit longer to come because we did kill him in that fight just now. So here Jinx ult misses completely, still gets vision though. That was a smite that was like 2 seconds too early, and here I nearly one-shot the Soraka, but I can't really reach her after I expended my energized passive with the magnetic blaster. So now Yone is on the chase. Again, the Ashe arrow gets blocked by the Aesol ult. I'm going to have to flash over, actually get the kill onto him. Now Viego gets chain CC'd again. I actually get the kill on him as well, and you can see I'm just life stealing off of just attacking the enemies, because I do have of course Bloodline as well as the Gluttonous Greaves, and that's kind of enough for Jhin to really sustain himself, which is I believe the main reason why a lot of the builds don't rush Bloodthirster anymore, because I think Jhin with that high AD does heal a lot just from the Gluttonous Greaves and the Bloodline, so maybe that's why Bloodthirster is no longer really rushed on Jhin, or even in Jin's build in the first place for the most part. Although I still think it would be pretty good item to build, but I can see why the energized items first and the collector into IE first does also make a lot of sense. Because of course if you compare BT to collector, of course BT is far superior, however collector gives you a very very strong early game power spike. Now here my whole team ends because we ran out of minions under the tower, and everyone's already past the tower, so everyone just starts tanking tower and all just dies. So only me and Aesol are left, which is not a very good situation whatsoever. Thankfully, the main objective on the map is Baron. excuse me, and not Elder. So enemy team's probably gonna get Baron, but honestly, at this point, getting the T-Hex Baron is really like not extremely valuable. So here I'm just using the time to maintain my farm. I'm not even gonna bother going there. You can see I'm now critting every auto attack for over 1,000 damage because of course we are now at full crit builds, which is 4 out of 4 crit items. So now we're going back, and in this case we're actually not going to build a Moss. In this case, it's a very special game. We're actually building Randuin's Omen, and we have Randuin's Omen because we have a lot of attack speed and crit on the enemy team. If you look at the entire enemy team, Ashe has crit and attack speed, Viego attack speed and crit, Yone attack speed and crit, and Jinx attack speed and crit as well. So I think Randuin's Omen is going to be a huge buy here to counter the entire enemy team, except the Soraka, who doesn't actually do any damage. So I decided to actually go for Randuin's Omen in this match. I was thinking that it might not matter because we might just end the game before we get it anyway. Turns out that's not really the case. Ashe is now split pushing. Unfortunately, my team ends up in a fight wherein Echo dies, and now we're trying to get back into the fight. We're walking around the wall, getting to position. Chain CC goes down, and I'm able to basically just KS there onto the Jinx. Viego goes down as well. But unfortunately, Vi also dies. Now here I exhaust the Yone, ensure that he cannot kill me, and he tries his best to do so. I'm flashing forward, trying to catch him out. Now I'm trying to launch some blind ultis here. I actually hit him with the blind ulti. I shouldn't have cancelled that. I should have used the ulti to clear the minions. Kind of cancelled in panic because I want to just go ahead and end the game, which I guess is not really wrong either. So here I'm unloading onto the Nexus. However, the last minion is about to die and does actually die. Leona ends up dying as well. Obviously, I can't finish the base off without minions unless it's like less than 100 HP. So I'm gonna have to now just run back to base and go for Elder. So here, Vi's free spawning in 2 seconds. Should be about the time when I reach the base. Like so, I complete the Randuin's Omen, and now I can run over to the Elder Dragon to start contesting with my team. And here Ashe is flashing in on Acel. Ashe is getting completely caught out by the Vi and the Acel ult as well. And now Viego is the one chasing into our jungle, popping the mist. So here you can see Acel is trying to reset. So it's a little bit dangerous to just straight up start the Elder Dragon. So I'm just trying to attack the enemies or from behind the wall. You can see I'm unloading onto the Soraka. Soraka's taking a bunch of damage. Might have to back there. So now, now we're starting off the dragon with the Acel on the way. Now the interesting thing is that Viego is not really directly here contesting the dragon, so we could just rush the dragon. So here, what I'm going to do instead is Viego just took over Acel's body. I'm just going to shut him down and prevent him from ever getting anywhere near the dragon pit. So with a smite, which again is too early by a couple of by half a second, we are able to secure the Elder Dragon. And with the Elder Dragon, we should be able to end the game with the extra damage. So we already have 2 inhibitors. We're just trying to barrel down mid to see if we can end the game. 3 people dead on the enemy team. Ashe does get the arrow onto me, but I don't even bother to QSS the arrow. I'm not sure why she is stepping up so far, but we're going to root her and kill her. And yeah, unfortunately the respawns are coming through, so it's a little bit hard to end the game without the wave. So I'm trying to ping my team back, and I want to basically just start lifestealing off of some jungle monsters or something like that. Minions, of course, will do as well. And yeah, so now we are just going to try to take everything we can from the enemy jungle. Acel flies past the blue buff, so I'm assuming he doesn't want it, so I'm going to take the blue buff instead. And here, the next Baron is up. We still have Elder for 45 seconds, so we're just going to do Baron just because we can. And of course, getting Baron is always going to be a good thing. So here we get the Baron. In mid-wave, enemy's mid-wave has pushed in by this point in time. So we're trying to find an angle to push in with our wave. Elder Dragon, of course, still up for 20 seconds, so if we start a fight here, it could be pretty good for us. Ashe ends up getting caught here, goes down to the Elder Dragon, and 10 seconds left for Elder Dragon. Now, Viego makes a huge mistake here by taking the body, because if you guys notice, Viego actually had GA, but the GA doesn't transfer to the next body, it's only in his base form. So we actually kill him because he takes the body. Now, Yone can't wait for Elder Dragon to expire. It just did, no, actually did not. So we are able to kill Yone with the Elder Dragon and then end the game with the last few seconds of Elder. So I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.